Well, hello. Welcome to Zlatan's Fight Picks, episode 4. We're going to go over UFC Vegas 68, Lewis versus Spivak, this Saturday, February 4th, 2023. Interesting fight card. A lot of Asian fighters. Part of the road to UFC tournament that they had in Asia. They had a lot of Japanese, Koreans, Indonesians, Chinese, all kinds of fighters from that end of the world that don't seem to have a chance to go join the UFC. If you watched it, it was really good. There was a lot of good talent there. Surprisingly, it was really fantastic fights. A lot of guys with a lot of talent. We'll see how they do when they come to the UFC. So that's why you see a lot of fighters that you don't recognize. They're new fighters for one, or they're in the regional scene in that end of the world. So we've never really encountered it. So so there'll be a lot of good fights. If you have seen the Road to the UFC, you'll know what I'm talking about. If not, watch it because the fights are really good, quite entertaining. A lot of talent coming out from there. So we'll go over that card, and so that's why I think that's also why the peculiar start time, because they're trying to start it later. So there's an audience in Asia that are going to want to watch these guys because they know them from the regional scene in Japan, Korea, China, Indonesia, and that area. So I think that's why there's such a late start time. I mean, it starts at 10 o'clock or something Eastern, 8 o'clock here with the first fight, and then it goes well past midnight. I'm not sure about time zones, but I imagine they're 16 hours ahead or something like that. Yeah, maybe. It'll be evening, I guess, there. So let's get started. We're going to go in order from the first fight to the main event. So, first fight, we got Tatsuro Taira. Just so you know, I am really going to enjoy pronouncing these names. Legitimately, I enjoy it. I think I'm pretty good at it. The Japanese names, I think I'm pretty good at just because I watched that television series when I was a kid called Shogun, and it taught me a lot about how to say stuff in Japanese. Or at least how they did it in the movies. I'm going to accentuate the Japanese and enjoy while I'm doing it. And the Koreans, well, I had a lot of Korean friends when I was growing up and neighbors, so I kind of used to their names. Gonna enjoy saying them as well. The rest of them are pretty standard, but let's get to it and do this. So the first fight of the night, Tatsuro Taira and versus Jesus Aguilar. Jesus. So Jesus, this is his first fight in the UFC. He fought in the Dana White Contender Series. He is 5'4", 62-inch reach, 26 years old, 8 wins, 1 loss. He's very short for this division. Very short, very stumpy, kind of barrel-chested. He's kind of a guy that's hard to get a hold of. He's hard to take down. He's got wild shots, like looping, powerful shots. He's always looking for a submission or to take it to the ground. In particular, he's a real guillotine expert. So most of his finishes are in the guillotine. So it's people coming in or him getting a shot at their neck. And he's submitted quite a few of them. So he's very good at it. So he's dangerous. But he is a plus 700 underdog. This is the widest odds here. And I don't know if they should be this wide, but obviously Tatsuro is a very highly touted prospect. And he is very good, and I watched him fight. But he's at a minus 1,200 at the moment. I bet him when he was like minus 1,000. Honestly, it's still too much. I put him in my parlays, but realistically, is it worth putting him in the parlays because of how much of a difference? In a long parlay, it's still going to be a fair bit of money. But your risk to reward, you always have to look at that. Is how much money are you going to gain for the possibility of him ruining the entire parlay? And not that he will, but you never know what can happen. I mean, he could get caught in a guillotine choke, and this guy can choke him. So, and it could be over. But he's high on my parlays. You'll see. He's at a 55% for me. So, and this week that's actually probably the top end, just because of the fights, how close they are, and all the unknowns when it comes to these fighters. Anyways, Tatsuro Taira is 5'7", 70-inch reach, 23 years old. He's undefeated, 7-0. He's a good striker. He's a good takedowns, good submission skills, very durable. He's done really well so far. So there's a reason why everyone wants to do minus 1,200. I think I don't know if he's overrated, but he's definitely got a lot of eyes on him. So I think everybody recognizes him now, and they kind of put him at the forefront, and he's done very well. So, and then he's fighting against a guy who's much shorter, 8-inch reach deficit. And yeah, I mean, minus 1,200. So it's a huge, huge, huge favorite. But my pick is going to be Tatsuro Taira. You know, I put him in the parlays. You don't have to put him in the parlays. I just do it just because, well, that's just me. A lot of guys won't touch anybody when they're super, super highly favorite. I don't really look at that. I just kind of put them in the parlays how I see fit. If they're good, I put them in. If they're not, and I don't look at the odds so much because they're kind of out of my control at that point. But risk to reward, yeah, you could take that into consideration. Next fight, Junyon Park versus Denis Tiuliulin, Russian. That actually named Tiuliulin, Denis Tiuliulin. That was a harder name. Junyon Park, 5'10", 73-inch reach, 31 years old, 9 wins, 2 losses. Also known as the Iron Turtle. You've seen this guy fight before. He's well-rounded. He's got good strikes, good combinations, good on the ground with submission skills. I think he should win the fight if he takes the fight to the ground and doesn't have to slugfest. But unfortunately, he's also has a tendency to go into a slugfest, which is why he got knocked out against Rodriguez last time, even though he almost knocked out Rodriguez and he was doing well on the feet. Maybe it was his only path to victory because Rodriguez was good on the ground as well. But in those slugfests is what I'm worried about him going into with Denis Tiuliulin. He's 6'1", 77-inch reach. So he's got a bit of a reach advantage, a little bit taller. He's 34 years of age, 11 wins, 6 losses. He's not good on the ground. You know, he's got takedown defense that's improving. You could see him. He's been really working on it. He wants a slugfest. He likes the chaos and the exchanges. He's a hard puncher. He can get tired if the fight goes on late, especially if he's been wrestling. And that's what seems to have happened to him before. He doesn't quit. He's a tough guy. His only path to victory is to create this into a massive brawl and catch Junyon Park with some of his hard shots. Junyon Park is... he's a good striker as well. I mean, he could still win this fight on the feet, but it's a much riskier avenue. So if he takes Denis down, he's going to have a much easier time of this. It's hard to say if the Iron Turtle is going to do this, just because he's a little macho and he gets in there and he wants to throw down. Hopefully he's a little smarter and takes a safe road for my bet's sake. But he's a slight favorite in my betting. So not huge. I got him further down just because he's a little unreliable as far as his fight plan. So next fight. Ji-Yeon Kim versus Mandy Baum. Ji-Yeon Kim is 5'7", 72-inch reach, 34 years of age, 9 wins, 6 losses, and 2 draws. Mandy Baum, 5'7", same height, 71-inch reach, 34 years old, 7 wins, 2 losses. Virtually identical in age and in height and in reach. 7 wins and 2 losses, a little misleading. Mandy Baum has Has she even won in the UFC? I know she's lost her last two, for sure, because I watched her lose those fights. She's pretty good on the regional scene, and she kind of took a step up in competition. She's tough. She doesn't quit. She's good at everything, but not great. It's not not great at everything, but she's not dangerous either. Looks better than she is. You know, I think there's some flashes you see to her game, and I think there's some things that she could work on and improve. I just haven't seen her put it together in the UFC. So I don't know if she can beat Ji Young Kim, who is a pretty decent favorite. She's at minus 275. She's good on the feet. She's good movement, fast hands. She's got no power, just a lot of volume. So she's got good takedown defense. They say she's good on the ground. I've never seen her on the ground. I've seen her defending takedowns, but never actually attacking. Really fast, like I said, really fast hands, but no power. Just like a paperweight, you know. She'll hit you, she'll hit you, she'll hit you, and there's not a lot of damage. And I've seen her lose fights. I think it was Cochuela, where she outstruck the competitor, and they still give the competitor the fight, just because of the how insignificant the punches were, I guess, as opposed to significant punches. So she outstruck her competitor, and the judges still gave it to the other girl just because of the amount of damage she was doing when she hit her, as opposed to the other way around, where Ji Young Kim would keep hitting her and peppering her with shots. It was just I still question if she should have won that fight, but she did lose it, and it just goes to show that I don't think she has a lot of power, and her path to victory will be just to stay on the feet and to just outstrike Mandy Baum, who in turn has no power. She's got some pretty good kicks. I don't like her boxing, but I like her kicking ability. But Ji Young Kim is very durable, and I've seen her take like a lot of punishment. She's never been put out. Mandy Baum, she can take a lot of punishment too, but I just see a lot more potential in Ji Young Kim. Unfortunately, the odds are very, very wide, but she is a slight favorite for me. She's at 51%. You'll see when I break it down. I kind of broke it down in danger zones, as the people who are most dangerous or most susceptible to lose will be at the far end of the spectrum, not to hurt, hopefully, at least some of the parlays that are more definite. Next up, Hyung Sung Park versus Seung Guk Choi. Hyung Sung Park, he is 5'7", 66-inch reach, 27 years old, 7-0. Seung Guk Choi, 5'6", 64-inch reach, 26 years old, 6-1. What the Seung Guk Choi? Let's see here. What do I got here? 49. Oh, I got this the other way around. Hyung Sung Park. Yeah, Hyung Sung Park is at a 51%. He's a slight favorite for me. I got this backwards. I thought something looked wrong. Hyung Sung Park, he's a favorite in the fight as well. He's minus 220. He is good strikes, well measured, fast hands, long and lanky, good on the ground, good subs, tough, and can take a punch. You know, he's got it all. He's well rounded. Seung Guk Choi, you know, this guy's well rounded too. Okay power, good on the ground, good striker, good low kicks. Not a great jab, but definitely some good kicks. Not great defense, takes a lot of shots. Some good footwork, mainly body lock takedowns. I watched the fight. He was entertaining. I just don't think he has quite enough power in the punching, and also his defense is not great. He takes a lot of punches. I don't know if he's going to get the body lock on Hyung Sung Park. He's pretty good. He's got good foot movement. He's going to be hard to grab onto. I got Hyung Sung Park as an advantage in my parlays as well. So Hyung Sung Park will be the pick. Next up, Rinya Nakamura versus Toshiomi Kazama. Rinya Nakamura, he's 5'7", 68 in reach, 27 years old, 6-0, undefeated. Toshiomi Kazama is 5'7", 69 inch reach, 25 years old, 9 wins, 2 losses. Very, very similar in their physical and their age. And Nakamura is the second biggest favorite on this card. He's at a minus 400. And deservedly so, because he is a really I mean, I wish he wasn't minus 400, but he should definitely win this fight. He's at a 55% for me, where he's in the top tier of the picks where I think that he should win. He's a world champion wrestler, legit. So explosive takedowns, strong strikes, fast and good everywhere. I saw him take some heavy punishment, be knocked down, come back and win the fight. Very, very good fighter. Toshiomi, he's a plus 300. He's an underdog. You know what? If Toshiomi Kazama was not fighting Nakamura, he would be a good guy to pick in a lot of fights, because he is really good. But I just don't think he's going to be able to outmatch Nakamura in the wrestling. I think he's going to come out like a really big prospect, and after this fight, people are going to start to know him. Kind of like Teixeira is. I think he's got a lot of potential. Kazama, he's got good movement, good footwork, he's got good in and out movements, he's got good subs on the ground, great jiu-jitsu, good body lock takedowns, not really good at open mat takedowns, which is what Nakamura is good at. But I watched a really good fight with him, and he of course won that fight to get to these finals, right? So I like him. I'm hoping to see him against somebody else, but I think Nakamura should take this. Next fight, Jung Young Lee versus Zha Yi. Jung Young Lee is 5'10", 73 inch reach, 27 years old, 9-1. Zha Yi is 5'7", 70 inch reach, 25 years old, 21-3. He's got a lot of experience. Jung Young Lee, again, excellent striker, very fast, good on the ground. Again, I watched the fight. I think he won one fight with a knockout, one with a submission. He's really good on the ground, good arm locks, very dangerous. Zha Yi, he's very experienced. He's well-rounded. He's got a grinding style. He's tough. He's good on the ground as well. I liked this. He was in a really close fight. I mean, I almost thought he might have not won that fight, but he is experienced and he is tough. But I think that he is being outmatched everywhere by Jung Young Lee. So I think that he's going to lose this, and Jung Young Lee is in my 55% category, which is the highest category this week. So yeah, Jung Young Lee is the pick. He's at a minus 250 favorite as well. Next fight, Anshul Jubli versus Jekka Saragi. Anshul Jubli is a minus 125 favorite. Jekka Saragi is a plus 100 underdog. I'm pretty big on this underdog, actually. He's in my first category to win, 55%. I was surprised that he came in as the underdog, but in all the fights that I saw him in that series, road to the UFC, he was the underdog, and he submitted one guy and he knocked out another guy. He's got a lot of power, so the guy's pretty good. So he's an underdog again. I don't know, they don't believe this guy, but he's a pretty charismatic fighter. He's powerful strikes, well-rounded, good jiu-jitsu and subs, tough and durable. Wasn't again, I got written down here, was an underdog in all the fights. I definitely like this guy. I think he's going to win. He's going to fight Anshul Jubli. Yeah, he's got good takedown defense. He's good on the ground. I haven't seen him really on the ground, but everyone keeps saying, well, he's good on the ground. He had good ground defense. He's a very good boxer, good body strikes, good low kicks, good body kicks. I don't think he's got that much power. He seems he's got good power, but not knockout power. And where Jekka's got knockout power. Everyone's big on this kid. I watched him fight. He started to fade as the fight went on. In the third round, Jeka, I don't think he's seen the third round. So we don't really know because he seems to be taking everybody out before the third round is over. So yeah, Jeka's the pick. He is the only underdog that I've picked. And when you see the chart, you'll see there'll be a different variation of it where there will be an underdog. But this is the only for sure underdog that I picked. Next fight. Okay, now this next, I'm going to say it how I should say it, and then I'm going to say it how I want to say it. Yusaku Kinoshita versus Adam Fugit. Okay. I want to say Kinoshita, and I want to say Fugit. Adam Fugit. But apparently it's Fugit. But no, Fugit just sounds better. Anyways, Fugit's the underdog. So Kinoshita is the favorite. Kinoshita is 6 feet tall, 71 inch reach, 22 years old, 6 wins, 1 loss. Very young. You know how there's older fighters? This guy is almost, I don't know, when they're getting that young, you just got to wonder about their maturity level. He's a great fighter, but there's a lot of room for improvement mentally. Anyways, that's just my take on this. So Adam Fugit, 6'1", 77 inch reach, 34 years old. He's a lot older, but he's not over the hill. So there's a 12-year age gap difference. There is, once you reach 8 years difference or 7 years or more, was it 7 or 8 years, then I think 70% of the time the younger fighter will win. So this is a 12-year difference, 12-year gap, but it's such a big gap. But 34 years old, he's probably still in his prime. 22 years old, he's probably still moving up to his prime. So I don't think that's going to make a difference here. So let's go Adam Fugit. Well-rounded, good on the ground, good ground game. Fights with his face and head sticking forward. Puts a lot of pressure going forward. He seems to take a lot of shots. He's got some decent defense, but with your head sticking out, he's almost daring you to punch him, right? So he can take a lot of punches, very durable, and has the reach advantage. He came in on a short notice to fight Morales, which was a highly touted prospect, and he did really well. And everyone based a lot of their assessment of him based on that, the fact that how well he did on such short notice, and me as well. He's dangerous because of that. You see the guy, he's got some talent, he's got some savvy, he's got some experience, so he's dangerous. And then Kinoshita, he's got good feints, good counter strikes, he's a counter striker, switches stances seamlessly left to right, is very tricky to catch him, so the punches come at different angles. Sometimes he looks like he's having way too much fun in there and not focused, and that's maybe because he's so young. But he's very explosive and tough. That's what I saw. But he just almost seems like he's just sparring, even though he's serious and he's going after you. He just almost looked like he's just hanging out. Like he's got a great attitude for fighting. He just, I know he's kind of talking to the other guy, and I don't know, just maybe a little too friendly, high-fiving him. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's because he's 22. So I got him. It's a 50-50. I put this way down the line just because Adam Fugit is pretty good. I don't think he's going to win. I really think that Kinoshita could win, but there is a few variables. So I got him in the 50-50 plus, which is just barely, kind of in my last leg of my parlays just because of the unknowns that can happen. And then Fugit, can he take him on the ground? I've never seen Kinoshita on the ground. So can Fugit take him to the ground? And if he can take him to the ground, can he hold him long enough to steal some rounds and win that way? So, and he's got a huge reach advantage. He's only 1 inch taller, but he's got 6 inch reach advantage, and that's going to help him. But, still leaning towards Kinoshita. I think he can pull it off, but it's going to be dicey. Next fight. Doo-Ho Choi versus Kyle Nelson. Doo-Ho Choi has been away from the fight game for 3 years. He's a minus 225 favorite. He's 5'10", 70-inch reach, 31 years old, 14 wins, 4 losses. He's lost the last 3 fights in the UFC, but it was with top-notch competition. So he is a great guy to watch fight. Very exciting. Goes all out. Goes for the KO. He takes too many punches. That's for sure. And that's why he got KO'd a couple times. And he definitely just goes for it. He's got to work on his defense and take less punishment. But I got to admit, though, he is tough. And he takes a lot of punishment. And it's hard to put him away. It's got to be perfect. Otherwise, this guy will survive. So here, yeah, Kyle Nelson, Canadian guy. Oh God, I would love to vote for the Canadian guy or cheer for the Canadian guy, but I kind of like the Korean guy. Kyle Nelson, a little more boring. He's 5'11", 71-inch reach. 31 years old, they're identical in age, almost identical in height, identical in reach, within an inch. 13 wins, 5 losses. Kyle Nelson, strong, durable, looks like a lumberjack. Slow, good leg kicks and body kicks, good cage work, very controlling on the cage, but he's a little slow and kind of lethargic, and he's powerful, but he's not explosive. I don't really think he can beat Doo Ho Choi, and I've got them at a 50-50 with a 50 plus to Doo Ho Choi, slightly leaning. But him being gone for 3 years, and everybody kept saying that he's gone for 3 years because it's a military service in Korea. But it wasn't that at all. He's been gone for 3 years because of injuries. So you got to wonder, he's coming back after 3 years. How is he coming back? What were the injuries that kept him gone for 3 years? It wasn't military service, as I found out. Everybody was saying it was military service because there is a 2-year military service in Korea, but it wasn't his case, which is concerning. If it was Doo Ho Choi from 3 years ago when he fought one of the best fights in the UFC that year against Cub Swanson, which was a fight of the night and fight of the year. If it's that guy coming back, yeah, he should take Kyle Nelson out. But it's hard to tell at this point if that's the guy who's going to come back. So again, slight favorite for me, depending on how he looks that night. It's going to be his first fight back, and we'll find out for the next time. Next fight, Marcin Tybura versus Blago Ivanov. Marcin Tybura, 6'3", 78-inch reach, 37 years old, 23 wins, 7 losses. Blago Ivanov, 5'11", 73-inch reach, 36 years old, 19 wins, 4 losses. Marcin is a slight favorite, minus 200. I've got this at a 50-50 fight with a slight lean towards Marcin Tybura. At the beginning of the week, I actually had it at a 50-50 with a slight lean to Blago Ivanov. So I've actually got this fight in the parlay bet both ways just because I had changed my mind. Marcin Tybura, no power. High volume of strikes. He's surprisingly accurate. He seems like he's just kind of pushing punches forward, but he does keep up the volume. So he has a high volume of punches and he keeps throwing. And he's got pretty good cardio to last the whole fight. He's very durable. He's always looking for a takedown. He's relentless. He always wants to push you up against the cage and hit you up and punch you while you're there, and then try to get some legs and trip you and fall on top of you. And then he's got good top control. He's heavy on top. So he's a grinder. I think he's going to win by decision. He has been knocked out one time, I think. So he's a hard guy to knock out. It's going to be one of those decision things. And then you got Blago Ivanov, who's 5'11", 73-inch reach. So he's short for the heavyweights. He's a big guy. He's very durable, very tough, never been knocked out, and he's fought the best guys, and they have hit him hard. And this guy he's got an iron chin. He's not going to be knocked out unless something changes. He's only 36 years old. He's not going to be knocked out. He's especially not going to get knocked out by Tybura. So that's going to be off the cards. It's going to be a decision. It's going to go to the end. He's short. Anyway, so he's going to be having a hard time reach, but he does have some power. I've seen him tag Lewis a couple times. This guy's got some power when he does hit, but he's very low volume. He doesn't throw a lot of punches, so he's going to lose a lot of decisions, which is what he has. He loses a lot of decisions. So he's got, he's fought some big guys, but he lost decision after decision. It always goes against him once he gets to the top echelon, top 10. He likes to counter strike, and his only chance, I think, in this fight is going to be knocking Tybura out. And there is a slight chance that he can knock Tybura out because he does have some power. He's going to have to initiate a little more of that. He's actually good on the ground. He's got great takedown defense. He's hard to get on the ground, and when he's on the ground, he's hard to keep on the ground. He's got some sambo wrestling. I saw him try to do Kimuras and arm locks on Lewis when he fought Lewis, and he almost got a couple of arm locks, Kimuras, but then Lewis of course got up. So he doesn't have great top control Ivanov, but he does have submission skills. So it's going to be very interesting. I think it's going to be slow and steady for both these guys. It's going to be a boring fight, and I think Tybura is going to take a decision, but it'll be close. But there is the slightest of chance, and you'll see how I bet this. I'm introducing a new betting category for Blagoy to knock him out, and I'm leaning now toward Tybura. There is a way to bet this where you've got him as well. Next fight, co-main event, Da Un Jung versus Devin Clark. Da Un Jung is 6'4", 78-inch reach, 29 years old, 15 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw. Devin Clark, 6 foot tall, 75-inch reach, 32 years old, 13 wins, 7 losses. Da Un Jung is a minus 250 favorite. Devin Clark's plus 200 underdog. I've got Da Un Jung at 55%, so he's in my high probability category. He's great on the feet, but plots forward. He's not very athletic. He's got good takedown defense. He's got great ground and pound when he gets on top. My only concern is he's not consistent. And I've seen him look really good and okay. And then I've seen him get knocked out. And then I've seen knockout guys that no one's knocked out. So it's one extreme to another. He lost a split decision to Sam Alvey, who granted years ago, has had his moments in some good fights, but then he's gone out and knocked out Kachukwe, I believe, which was a hard guy to knock out for everybody. And then he got knocked out by in his last fight. It was a quick knockout, by Justin Jacoby. So he should win this fight, but his consistency is questionable. But I got to go with him. Devin Clark, he's built like a tank. He's very durable, very powerful. He's got a sneaky, fast kick, head kick. And I haven't seen him catch anybody with it, but it's quick, and I'm surprised he hasn't caught anyone with it. He's got pretty good stamina, but he seems to taper off in the third rounds. He's got great wrestling. He's one of those guys that's never quite put it together. And I don't know if it's a mental issue. He's always seems to be on the losing end of it and just tapers off at the end, physically, mentally. He's a really stout, strong person. I've always thought there was more potential in him, but he just always seems to come out on the losing end of it. So Da Un Jung is the pick. Fairly confident. he should definitely, especially after his knockout loss last time, I think he's going to be coming in to redeem himself. Final fight of the night, the main event. Derek Lewis versus Sergey Spivak. Derek Lewis, 6'3", 79-inch reach, 38 years old. 26 wins, 10 losses. Sergey Spivak, 6'3", 78-inch reach, 28 years old. 15 wins, 3 losses. 10-year difference. Derek Lewis is coming up on that 40. Then we got to start questioning it. A few things. He's a knockout. He's always dangerous on the feet. Explosive when he's getting up, especially earlier on in the rounds when he gets taken down. He's very explosive, and generally he just gets up. But as the fight gets a little longer, he's a little harder, more labor to get up. Also, how much explosiveness does he have as he gets older? Those are all questions we need to ask for this fight, and probably every fight afterwards. So Sergey Spivak, he's improved his striking. When he first came on, he was a little undersized. He was smaller than some of the heavyweights. He was fighting at 240, maybe 250, and he seemed like he was coming in a little small, even though he's tall. And his striking was very, very simple. He's definitely going in there looking for the takedown. These last couple fights, his striking looked like it has improved huge, and he's also bulked up. So he's gotten bigger, and now he's having an easier time to take people down and stay on and keep them down, because now he is just heavier. So he's as heavy as all the biggest guys. So he's coming in at the top end of 265 when he's fighting. So he's probably even heavier than that. Young, it seems like an up-and-coming prospect, where Derek Lewis is kind of older, and he seems like he's coming down. But you look at the people Derek Lewis has fought, he's fought the top 5 guys all the time. Sergey Spivak, he fought one of the best guys, Aspinall, and he got knocked out. But it was a short notice fight. But you got to judge it. Is Derek Lewis that bad, or is he just fighting really good guys? Is Sergey Spivak that good, or is he, fighting guys that aren't that good? He did submit Tai Tuivasa, which looks good on the resume now, but that was back when Tai Tuivasa was just starting to get really good, and he just mentally he decided he was going to try be the champ, and he just improved his training and everything. So I think he caught Tai Tuivasa when he wasn't that good. I've got this fight both ways. This is one of the fights where Lewis could definitely win, because Lewis has got really good timing, and he's got knockout power, really good timing. You saw that when he fought the other wrestler. I can't remember his name. He came in for a shot. He timed it perfectly. Uppercut, knocked him out cold. And realistically, the other guy should have dominated him. But before that happened, Lewis knocked him out. And Sergey Spivak, his striking's improved. Let's see how it's improved against a guy like Derek Lewis. Is he going to want to be striking? Does he have to soften Derek up? In which case he's putting himself in danger before he goes for the shot. Is Derek Lewis going to time it like he did with the last wrestler? God, I can't remember his name. Curtis Blades, yeah. And that's concerning to me, because Derek Lewis is always dangerous. And now everyone's saying he's trimmed down, he's leaned down. On the one hand, if he comes in too light, Sergey Spivak can control him on the ground easier. He won't be able to explode up. But if he comes in lighter and in shape, he'll be faster. So him to be able to time an uppercut when this guy's shooting in will be better. So in one hand, he could be more dangerous. On the other hand, it could hurt him. So I'm leaning towards Spivak, but I do have it both ways, where I picked fights with Lewis being the pick as well. So yeah, he's 51% for Spivak. It's a tough one, but let's go over the board and I'll show you visually what's going on. And then afterwards I'll go, we're going to be doing a new prop bet and it's going to be introduced today, and we will do other prop bets, but I'm going to introduce them in stages. Here we go. Let's move this camera. How's that? Let's see if I got everything. Let's see here. Well, that looks pretty good. I think you can see it. If not, you're going to have to zoom in. Let's do this. I got my category, the highest one is 55%. There's not a fight here that I'm really super confident in. But these are the ones that I think are going to be most likely win. Da Unjung, which is the co-main event, Jaka Saragi, Taira Nakamura, and Jiang Long Li. Now, this line here means he is an underdog. So anything with the brown line underneath it is an underdog. I've marked down Tierra is the only one. He is at a minus 1200. This is it's up to you if you want to keep him in there or take him out. He's not making, he's making a difference in the parlay. Not a huge difference because he is so heavily favored, so you don't have to have him in there. It's not going to make a huge difference to your money. It will make a difference, but not a huge difference. Now, this is my for sure parlay. I mean, bet at your own risk and only bet what you can afford to lose, not financial advice. But for me, these are the guys that are going to be more certain. The next level is 51%. So these guys I'm leaning towards. There's a couple of guys that I moved, over the course of the week as I was looking at more tape. But 51%, I got Jung Young Park, I got Hang Sung Park, both parks, Ji Young Kim, and I got Spivak. So that's going to be my 51%. But what I've also done is I've gotten the 51% flipped where I have all these three and Lewis instead of Spivak. So I've done that as well. Beginning of the week I had him. End of the week I'm going with him. So I'm very undecided because he should win. This guy's live for the knockout. And he's done it to so many guys. It's not funny. It's just he's done it so many times. So you can't discount it. 50% plus. This is barely. You can easily not have these guys in your parlay. But I am leaning slightly, ever so slightly, what I think is going to win. Kinoshita, Tabora, Duho Choi. Those three. But at the beginning of the week, I didn't have Tabora, I had Ivanov. So I have some bets where I have Kinoshita, Ivanov, and Duho Choi. And again, I did it a couple of different ways because I just wasn't sure about who I thought was going to win. I'm leaning towards Tabora, but I do have a couple of bets where Ivanov's in it. It all depends how you want to structure it and how much money you want to put on it. If you have smaller bets, you can change it around like I did and then kind of have it both ways, but you don't want to have large bets on too many different variations because it just might not add up for you to be profitable. So again, but these two guys have a brown line. That means they are underdogs. So you definitely improve in your parlays with them in it just because of the multiple effect because of the underdog. Now, what I've done is I also made a parlay where I've included these 5 and this 4. And of course, I have a parlay with these 2 flipped. So this 5, this 4. And then I have a parlay where I have these 3 columns as well. And of course I have a parlay with these flipped. This one, I have a parlay with him in it at the beginning of the week. I'm not really suggesting it. I'm kind of sticking with Tabora, but I have one just because I had already done it. But I probably wouldn't have done it now. But I do have it both ways on that one. This is the one I'm more concerned about. Now, what I have done is we're going to do, there's a betting site called Bet Online. If you deposit 50% deposit match up to $1,000. So if you deposit 100, they're going to give you $50 as a bonus. 200, $100 as a bonus. They have the most prop bets out of any site. Not the best prop bets. They have really good prop bets. There's other ones that have different prop bets that they don't have, but they do have the biggest assortment of prop bets. The one I'm going to introduce today is bet for win inside the distance, decision, no action. By the way, I'm going to put the link in the description. So if you want to open an account there, just hit the link and then deposit your money and you get 50% bonus. It's free money, right? So wins inside the distance is we're going to pick somebody to win inside the distance, but if it goes to a decision, the bet gets canceled. So it's a pretty safe bet. And so what I'm doing is I'm picking guys that I think are going to win by knockout, who have the most chance of knocking somebody out without in turn getting knocked out. But if it goes to a decision, it doesn't matter because the bet gets canceled. We get our money back. So, oops, my stick. God damn it. All right, so the guys with the arrows are the guys I've put on this bet. So Daeun Jung, I've got him to win inside the distance, but if it goes to a decision, the bet gets canceled. So we don't lose. The only way we can lose is if he gets knocked out. Jaka Saragi, again, knockout artist. I picked him to win inside the distance. I'm expecting him to win inside the distance. But if by chance he wins in a decision, we're still not going to, it's going to get canceled. If he loses by decision, it's going to get canceled. So again, Jeong Long Lee, again, powerful striker. I'm expecting him to win inside the distance. I got a bet on that. So again, win inside the distance, decision, no action. Kinoshita, same thing, because he's a powerful puncher. I'm expecting him to win inside the distance. If he loses, it's going to be by decision. So again, decision, no action, which means the bet is canceled. So Do Hoo Choi, again, knockout artist, loves throwing down. I'm expecting him to win by knockout, but the guy he's fighting is not a knockout artist. So I'm expecting that guy to win by decision if he wins. So those are my bets, and I think they're pretty safe. Nothing's ever perfect. But yeah, so bet online. The link will be in the description. Deposit 50% match. Again, once you get to the fighter, you pick the fighter, you go down to the bottom of the column after there's tons of prop bets, rounds, the way to win, how to win, every which way to bet on the prop for the fights. But you go on the bottom and there's a column, win inside the distance, and you pick who you think is going to win inside the distance and the decision, no action. So that's the bet for today. And next time we'll introduce something else. I think, I'm going to straighten this out. Well, this bet, it's a little late. I should have had this out on Tuesday. But man, it's just it's a whole learning curve on these on the YouTube and figuring things out. I'm still trying to figure it out. I still want to get a screen on the screen that shows you the fighters and the breakdown while I'm talking about it. So instead of me just reading it, hopefully you'll see the size difference, the reach difference, and their record and things like that. So then we can just look at the screen and you guys can look at the screen and follow along with it. And then I'll just have my raw notes. But that's the thing. It's a work in progress. So things are happening hopefully every time I do the videos, I'll be better at doing the videos and bringing something a little different. And as we're doing parlays and other different betting ideas, I'll introduce them one at a time. Eventually, of course, we'll have a whole slew of different things to bet on, and hopefully more secure bets and picking stuff that are most likely to win. So that's what we're working on. Hopefully we're going to make this channel better. If you haven't done so, like the video. It helps us with the algorithm. Subscribe. It'll let you know the next time we put out the next video. The next video will be Monday or Tuesday, and it will be a recap of this Saturday. And then next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, we got to do the big pay-per-view event with Volkanovski versus Makhachev. And yeah, I gotta admit though, I'm gonna be biased. Volkanovski, he's a Macedonian. I'm Macedonian. I gotta go with him, even though he's, it's gonna be a close fight. I'll give you the breakdown when it happens next week, but just a warning, I'm a little biased. All right then. Well, thank you very much for joining me for UFC breakdown for UFC Vegas 68. I'll see you guys next week.